Hello, everybody, and a very special edition of the Coach Jay McAuley Show because it is tournament time here at Wofford. Jim Noble, along with men's basketball head coach Jay McAuley. Wofford winners of 4 of their last 5 heading into the tournament. On paper, that sounds real good, but we got to see those games in person. How do you feel your team is shaping up as we get ready to head to Asheville?
I think we got some good momentum going into this week. Chance to rest our bodies, chance to build off some things we did well the last 4 or 5 games. To win 2 of those games on the road was big for our team, confidence builder. And to have some second halves like we did, Jim, I thought was crucial in our confidence. And it's still about putting a full 40 minutes together. Our guys know what's at stake here. Every team in the league does, so it's going to be a fun week.
We will look back at those road wins. Of course, the last week of regular season play. Also, senior night here at Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium on Saturday. And a look ahead to the SoCon men's bracket as Wofford will face VMI in their first round game. It is all ahead here on the Coach Jay McAuley Show, brought to you by RJ Rockers.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center in Asheville, North Carolina, March 3rd through 7th for the Ingles 2022 SoCon Basketball Championships. You don't want to miss the action as your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville box office. The madness begins in Asheville. Get your tickets today.
And welcome back, everybody. So, after a tough game against the Furman Paladins in Greenville, a 1-point loss, hopefully we see them again, but that's another story for another day. You finish up with 2 games, the first one Wednesday at VMI. It had been 2 months since you played the Keydets. Jake Stevens questionable for that game. So you guys almost had to have 2 game plans coming on. One of Stevens played and one of Stevens didn't. He didn't end up playing.
Yeah, I was really proud of our guys for that's the second longest trip of the year for our guys. 4th straight Wednesday road game that we've had. So it's been some tough weeks here, but our guys at every turn, like you said, have really battled and responded. And, you know, they were really crushed that they couldn't get that game done in Greenville. Wishing we had 3 free throws there at the end. But, you know, our guys quickly picked up the pieces, traveled really, really far up to Virginia. And we got a lot of respect for that team. We had to have a few game plans in. That's the case at every game. So our guys were well prepared, had a lot of respect for them going in, and made enough plays to get out of there with a good road win.
Once again, it's the BJ and Max show, not the BJ Mack show. That's a whole different thing. But BJ Mack and Max Klesman combined for 43 points. You really took control of that game about midway through the second half. I know they threw in a bunch of threes at the end to kind of make the margin closer, but I thought that was about the best second half of basketball you played in a long time. 68% shooting in half number 2.
Ball was moving. I thought our activity ramped up a little bit, and you know, we rebounded at a high level. We're top 10 in the country right now in rebounding percentage, which is just huge for our team. And there's some other areas we've got to continue to keep working on and keep improving in. But our activity has been pretty consistent here. Our rebound has been pretty consistent. That's traveled on the road. And then when the ball's moving like that and we get production from those 2 guys and contributions from guys like Corey Tripp and Sam Godwin, it was a total team effort in that second half.
And nice to sneak in a snack time before the regular season ended. Big road win at VMI on Wednesday. And then, of course, back here home for senior night against Mercer. First of all, let's talk about senior night. And it's always emotional, and you've been with these guys, most of them 4, sometimes 5 years. Talk about what was going through your mind pregame. And then you have to completely flip that mental switch and go out there and play basketball.
It's not as easy as people think. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, ceremonies and things going on, families in town that are pulling at our guys' normal routine, and it should be that way because they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. And I thought we were a little on edge a little bit and pressing a little bit to start that game, and Mercer had a lot to do with that. But to send these guys out, the 6 seniors, 4 players, 2 managers, and several of those guys have been a part of our last championship, and that banner behind us was really, really special for me and our staff and the rest of this program.
Yeah, for Ryan Larson, David Applegren, Isaiah Bigelow, and Alex Michael, and of course our managers, Rudy and Clayton, the last chance to be on this floor during a game. Like you said, it took a while, I think, for that to wear off. It was a weird game because they go up by 9. That lead evaporates. We go up by 9. That lead evaporates. And it's a dogfight with 5 minutes to go. And everybody knows what's at stake. You don't want to play in the first round game if you don't have to. It was almost like a playoff game.
It was.
Jay, it had that feeling. That's got to be a good feeling, A, to go through that before you get to Asheville, and B, to come out on the winning end.
Yeah, it was a tournament type of game. Our guys knew what was at stake, and so did their squad. Mercer knew that. Last 5 minutes, we buckled down, and I think, again, that's good momentum heading into this week. And again, for our young ball club, in a lot of ways, it's maturity that's needed on how to finish some things and how to be better in some moments. So to send our seniors out the right way, this crowd was awesome. It was one of our biggest crowds we've had all year. It was a great environment and a great chance for us to get momentum again going to Nashville.
And now, of course, the slate is clean. Everybody's 0-0 when we come back. The SoCon tournament in Asheville, that's coming up next.
Wofford takes down Carolina, and the Furman Paladins have defeated
The underdog. The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen in your dreams, kid. 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. We're with you every step of the way.
And welcome back to the Coach Jay McAuley Show. Southern Conference Tournament in Asheville, my favorite time of year. It'll be the number 4 seed, Wofford Terriers. A lot of people might not have thought that was going to happen a few weeks ago, against VMI. They will first play on Saturday at Asheville. So talk to me about playing VMI, the pros and cons in playing a team that you just played 10 days ago or so, but also there's still unknown whether or not Jake Stevens plays or not, because they're such a different team with or without him.
Yeah, and here's the deal. They've beaten a lot of teams without him. Chattanooga, the number 1 seed. They're a really good ball club. They pose a lot of problems. They're number 1 in our league in terms of offensive efficiency, and they're a top 10 offense right now in the country. So they've got great players across the board. They create many problems and get you in space to drive you and spray out for threes. But you're going to have to play good teams no matter what in conference tournaments. They're going to be desperate to win. I'm sure Jake Stevens will find a way to play. He's the player of the year, in my opinion, and he's just a tough guy and very skilled across the board. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that game. We're certainly looking forward to it. I know they are as well, and we're just taking it one day at a time with that.
How do you feel about your draw, your seeding, number 4 seed? If you're fortunate enough to play well enough to get past VMI, you're very likely looking at the number 1 seed, Chattanooga. And like you said, you're going to have to beat somebody. I don't know if you even stress out about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to play good teams every round. And if you're fortunate enough to move on, you got to recalibrate quickly. And you got to be really, really good at the things that are your strengths. And you can't have loud turnovers and shoot yourself in the foot a little bit. But VMI is going to be a great challenge for us. We got our whole mind, body, and soul into that these next few days, and I know they're doing the same up the road. And whoever we got, if we're fortunate enough to get to the next round, we'll worry about that later on.
If you were not coaching, you were just an outside observer of this one, I know we say every year, it's wide open. But some of the teams that I thought might have been sleepers, you look at Samford, they were as hot as anybody, and they're a little bit different team away from Birmingham. You look at Mercer, they had been playing well until the very end. VMI's got the injury situation. All right, A, is it as wide open as we all think? And B, is there a sleeper team still out there? And could that sleeper team be wearing black and old gold? Who knows?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Our guys don't even think of us as a sleeper team. They think of us as like, we've gifted some games away this year, and it's been a process, whether we have certain lineups healthy or not, and some others that are. We've always found a way to respond, and they're going into this really confident, and they know how crucial every possession is. But every team in this league could win this deal. I'm just telling you, that's just how it is. You get hot, you just got to win 3 or 4 games in a row. Sanford did that in February and got rolling. We're winners of 4 of our last 5, and you just got to get hot and a little luck on the roll here next week. I'll tell you what, don't count out East Tennessee State. They beat Greensboro, a really good Greensboro team last night. They've got some older guys and the talent to really put up some numbers offensively. They could be a dark horse, I think, for sure.
Heck, the number 10 seed beat the number 1 seed this year. The number 10 seed, Western Carolina, had a big win on Saturday. So who knows what could happen when we get to Asheville. Final question. So you guys go up there, and you're not in a complete bubble like last year during the COVID tournament, but you certainly have a routine that you go through, and you'll get some shoot-around time at the arena. You'll get some other practice time in Asheville. Kind of, what's your mentality in terms of, do you keep everybody together every second of the day and it's basketball, 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 or do you have to let their mind relax a little bit because it is a grind?
Yeah, it's a great question. You've got to find a way to be yourself wherever, home or away, and we've got a routine. You know this. We've got a routine, and we try to stick to it as best we can, but guys also have to have study hall. They've got to do things as a student athlete would have to do, and they know that deal. And there's going to be pockets of the day that's dedicated to that, pockets of the day that's dedicated to treating their bodies, which is on E for most of these guys heading into the last week. And then the rest is going to be all attention to preparing like we usually do. So our guys enjoy it. The fans enjoy it. It's a great time of year for college basketball, and this tournament should be a fun ride.
Yeah, speaking of fans, it's a really easy drive. It's a fantastic atmosphere. We could use your support in the stands. If you can't make it, we'll have all the games, of course, on radio. But, man, we'd love to see you at the Harris-Cherokee Center cheering on Wofford beginning on Saturday. As always, thanks for the time. Great job during a regular season that was its usual typical roller coaster ride, and hopefully we'll be talking after a game on Monday night.
I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, guys.
All right. For Jay McAuley, I'm Jim Noble. As always, thanks for joining us on the Jay McAuley Show.